Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and I hope you all had a fantastic set of holidays and you enjoyed your Easter time off. Now, today's puzzle, being Tuesday of course, is we're back with the artisanal Sudoku series, and once again I'm going to be featuring the third puzzle from James Sinclair's artisanal Sudoku series, where there's essentially two different variants, so you get to pick which one you want to play. The one that I'm going to feature right now, which doesn't have extra clues, so it will be a little bit tougher, probably more like a 2-star difficulty rated one for the weekend. Or if you would prefer just a little bit of extra help with additional clues, so you get to choose your own adventure, and there'll be 2 links in the description down below. Today's puzzle is called Aquarium, which you can see here is, we're still on Easter, clearly with the Easter eggs, but at the same time we've got very weird aquarium. I can see fish that are somehow linked to puzzles. Hopefully we're not going to find it such a weird puzzle today. Reason I say that is, and I don't want to use that word lightly, it's constructed by my nemesis, none other than Matt Tressel. Matt, who consistently seems to find my Sudoku blind spots, and it's not always Sudoku, it's sometimes variants, where I seem to really struggle to kind of decipher the logic associated with the puzzle, even though a lot of you actually find it a lot more approachable than I do. Fingers crossed, let's see what we have in store. I've had a relaxing weekend. I should be firing on all cylinders. Rules-wise, Aquarium from Matt Tressel, we've got the following set of rules. Actually, let me just, excuse me. Normal Sudoku rules apply, and all clues are standard. So killer cages, German whispers, odds and evens, or I should say even and odd. So if you actually know what all of that means, pick your own adventure down below. Quick reminder or walkthrough if you're not familiar with all of these. Normal Sudoku, of course, means place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, every 3x3 box. Of course, no repeats in any of these. Killer cages, digits in a cage may not repeat and must sum to the total indicated in the top left corner. So it means these 3 cells add up to 22, which is the sum in the top left corner. These 4 cells are 20, 9. Now, I did spot a cage here that has no sum. But if you have a moment to think about it, you kind of know what the sum is, and I'm not going to say too much further about it. German whisper lines, adjacent digits along a green line must differ by at least 5. So if this cell is a 2, for example, the neighbors would be 7, 8, or 9. Had this line been a bit longer, if it went to kind of, I can't even draw that, this cell, for example, and this cell happened to be an 8, well, this cell would have to be 1 or 3, so that it is 5 or more away from the 8. Then you oscillate between low digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, high digits, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then low and high and back and forth you go. Round the 5, but never the 5, and I'm sure you can determine why. Last but not least, we've got odd/even, so digits in a grey circle must be odd, and digits in a grey square must be even. Grey square is here. I deliberately picked a 2, but it could be 4, 6, or 8, as long as it's an even digit. Down here, it's 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9. Can't be a 5 on German whisper, I'm sure, again, you can determine why. That's all the rules we have for today, so as always, to play along, links in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. Wish me luck. So 22 cages are probably the most restricted on the list. There are 2 ways of getting to 22 in 3 cells. 3 ways in 9, so kind of less interesting. Probably many ways that I can even think of in 20. So these are even less interesting. And I guess it's closer to the German whisper lines, which are the longest in here. So I think box 3 and box 7 is kind of where we're going to start focusing. So 2 ways of getting to 22. If you do not use a 9, 6, 7, 8 are the highest set of digits. You're not going to get to 22. You're going to get to 21. So you have to have a 9. Then you need 2 more cells to get you to 22. So 2 more cells that add up to 13. That could be 6, 7. That could be 5, 8. Of course, it couldn't be 4 with a double 9. That doesn't work. So I think 6, 7, 9 doesn't work. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it doesn't work. Essentially, remember, German whispers oscillate between low and high. So I don't know which one is the low and which one is the high. I know that I need at least 2 highs in here, otherwise I will break the puzzle. If I use 6, 7, 9, I've used 3 of the high digits. I'm only left with an 8. I need two of them. So that is definitely 589, 589 in both of the 22 cages. It also tells me that the 6 and 7 are going to be on here somewhere. So the 6, of course, can't be in the middle, otherwise it would require a double 1 to be 5 or more away. So essentially the 6 is either in the corner with a 1 immediately next to it, followed by a 7 and a 2, or obviously the reverse of that, which is 6, 1, 7, and 2. So we end up with a 1-7 pair, a 2-6 pair, and then 3-4 left over. And I imagine it's exactly the same in here. Yes, because I need a 6 on the German whisper lines. It will require 1s that are neighbors. It can't be on here. So 2-6, 2-6, 1-7, and 3-4. Now, what I did mention at the beginning is the killer cage. This killer cage doesn't have, what's the word I'm looking for? Doesn't have a sum, but it is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 9 cells long. It is all of the digits 1 to 9 because explicitly in the rules it says digits in a cage may not repeat. So these 3 4s are actually different. You can also see I have no 5s on here, so the 5's in one of these 2 cells. I need the 1-2 pair in here. Essentially, let me just color it to illustrate this. It'll be easier. Since we're oscillating between high and low digits, I'm either left with 3 low digits, which I can't. I've already used 2 of the 4. So orange has to be low with 1-2 pairs. And then I'm left with, I'm actually allowed 6s in here. I'm not allowed in the middle, 7, 8, 9, given at least one of them is a 2. But I'm allowed 6s on the ends because one of them is a 1. Interesting. Okay. And then I have another high digit, one of the 6, 7, 8, 9s, plus a 5 in here somewhere. Interesting. Lots of analysis, 3.5 minutes in, and not a single digit. Tons of pencil marks though, so by my standards for solving a Matt Tressel puzzle, I'm actually reasonably happy. So this cell here is 2, 4, 6, or 8. Can't be 4 or 6. I mean, it can't be 4 because there's a 3-4 pair looking at it. And again, they are different because they're in the same cage. But the other reason it can't be 4 or 6 is it would require either a double 9 or a double 6. So this is 2 or 8. Right, time to talk about the 3-cell 9 cage. So 2 ways of doing this: 1, 2, 6, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 3, 5. If I use either of these, I won't have a 2. I would have an 8 in here with 2 low digits, 1, 3 pair, which doesn't work, does it? Let me show you. So 3 ways of getting to 6 in 3 cells: 1, 2, 6, 1, 3, 5, and 2, 3, 4. Now imagine for a second that I have used a 2 inside the 9 cage. So I could go with 1, 2, 6 as an example. That forces an 8 in here. That's not going to work because the neighbors are not 1 or 2. I'm left with 3 and 4, which are simply too high for the 8. So 1, 2, 6 definitely doesn't work. 1, 3, 5 I think is the answer, but 2, 3, 4 also doesn't work for the exact same reason. Because I don't have 2 anymore from this 2, 8. So 2's gone, that's 8. That's still 2 digits, low digits, and I only have 1 available. So long story short, this is 1, 3, 5. And I can't have a high digit in here because, I can't have a, high digit, because if it's an 8, I'm left with 2 and 4, which are both, well, the 4 is too high. So that would force this to be a 2, and then these are from 7, 8, 9s. Is the 2 helping me? Yes, it gives me a 6, a 1, a 7, a 2, a 1 again in here, and then a 7, 8, 9 there, not a 7 in here. Actually gives me this 6 as well. 6, 1, 1, 7, 2, and again another 7, 8, 9. Lovely. Not a 7 again. Just the 7s cancelling all of these out. So I actually know what these are. They include a 7, which is not here. They include a 6, which is not there. And they include a 4. So we're talking about 4, 6, 7, except not 6. In fact, 6. just do some Sudoku sleuth. It's not here, it can only be there, and therefore this is a 4-7 pair. Excellent, we actually have some digits finally. So we might be able to solve this without making an absolute mess. No 6 in here. Now remember, in this killer cage, if there's no 6 in these two cells, there has to be a 6 in one of these two. Look at this. The 5s... Oh, hang on, no. Yeah, sorry. Right, where's a 5 in column 3? And the answer is it's one of these two cells. Now, remember, this killer cage has to have a 5 because it has all of the digits 1 to 9 once each. It's 9 cells. If I place a 5 in here, I've broken the puzzle, because essentially neither of these cells now can be a 5. So it forces a 5 in here. This is no longer a 5. This is 6, 7, 8, 9. In fact, neither of these are 7s. So there's a definite 6 in here, a definite 6 in there. 6 with a 1 possible. In fact, 1 is actually forced. Look at this. Sleuth doing Sudoku halfway through. That's a 1. That tells me I'm surrounded by low digits that are, except this cell is not 7 or 6. Sorry, high digits, excuse me, 8, 9. And this is 6, 8, or 9. Again, the 7's doing a lot of work for us right now. No 7's in any of these. 7 can't go inside the 9 cage, actually. Neither are the 1s. Come on, there's so much that's been given right now. Right, where's 7 in box 9? Short answer is, can only be in here. Can't be inside the 7, otherwise it would require a double 1 to pair up. That's the 7. That forces this to be a 6, because where else is the 6 going to go according to my pencil marks? And I do trust them. Not that I need to double check. Can't have 8 or 9. Oh, no, hang on. I can't. Oh, yeah. 6, 8, 9 triple means that's the other 8, 9. That tells me there's a 5 up here, because that's a 5, 8, 9 triple. Then this, without the 1, has to be 2, 3, 4. And this digit is now known with a 5. 6, 8, 9, that's another 3, 4. Don't know if I'm going to have to color these 3 4s. I might. Because I know that these are now the same colors. For example, the same 3s or same 4s. I just don't know which one it is. Where do I go from here? There's a definite 7 inside the 20. I mean, it's kind of leading me that way, but it feels premature. It feels like there is more goodness left. There is another 2, 3, 4 in here. Yeah. And a 7. Actually, let's have a think about row 5. I haven't really thought about it that much. So I need a 3, 4 pair. Plus a 5. The 5 can't be here. The 5 is not there. So the 5 can only be in here. And then I need a 6 in this row, which to be fair could be here or there. That's not great. And then a 3, 4 pair, which absolutely could be here. And frankly, both of them could be there. So not sure I'm helping myself, if I'm honest. If there is something here, I am not seeing it, but I'm not doing great on Sudoku. So 5 in there, 2, 3, 4 and a 7. Don't want to pencil mark this really, but I will, because it's probably limiting my options for these two cells, isn't it? So if it's 2, 7, that's 9. That's 2 cells to get to 11. 5, 6, possible. Yeah, too many options. I'm not sure that was useful right now. I am going to move on in the interest of time. Just going to sanity check that I haven't missed any obvious Sudoku, because normally that would be the case, and then I end up trying to massively force some weird and twisted logic, which just doesn't help anyone. So let's try and avoid that for a second. Just a second, mind you. 1, 2, 1. Doesn't exactly help me. leaves all of these 6s as options. 1 is up there. 1 inside a 20 cage leaves 3 cells to get to 19. It's fairly comfortable still. Essentially an average of 6 1/3, so highly achievable. Yeah, not seeing it. So we said these 2 cells are the same. So essentially I'm missing in this column another 2, 3, 4. I'm half tempted to color these 3 4s now. I really am. Don't know if it's actually going to be helpful in the slightest, but aside from looking at the 20 cages next, which feels, given how little we actually know about them, I mean, suicide would be too strong of a word, but definitely doesn't feel like what we should be doing. Like, here's an obvious Sudoku, 5. And another obvious Sudoku, come on, Sleuth, there's a lot on the table still. And then 5. Five, not 7, no. No, just the 5. In fact, 8, 9 pair, I don't know how I missed that, means that's 7, that's 4, that's 7, that's not 7. That's an 8, 9 pair. That tells me that's a 5, 6 pair, isn't it? No, must have a 5 already. 5, yep. 4, 6 pair. Not sure why that's significant, but interesting. Let's remind me, this 3, 4 is what again? So this 3, 4 is the same as this 3, 4. So these 3 4s are different. So I know this is not a 3. It's a 1, just Sudoku. Here I am trying to come up with some convoluted solution, and it's entirely not needed. Like, entirely. 4, of course, gave me the solution. 3, 4, 4, 3, 3, not 3. Has to be a 3, not a 4. Another 7, 8, 9. I mean, can't see why not. 7, 8, 9 triple tells me that this is 3 something. 2, 3. 2 and 3. Two's down here. Don't know how to force it. 3's up there. Don't know how to force that either. It'll be really good to figure out row 5. It will be helpful, I think. Have I got more obvious things? Yep. 1, 3, not 1, is 1. So yes, 3 cells that do add up to 19, which ironically can include the low digits of 6 and 5. It doesn't include a 2. So 2 is in one of these 2 cells. No 3 in here. 3 is there with the 5. So this is 3, 5, or 8, 9. A 3 and then 16 would require 9, 7, which isn't available. No 7s. No 7, more obviously. So not 3. 3, yes, would require 9, 7. Well, the 9 would go with the 1, the 3 would go with the 7. Yeah, that's 20. My maths is correct. So far we've removed 1, 2, and 3. What about 4? 4 would leave me a remainder of 15, which would require 6, 9. Yeah, possible. I've done a lot of thinking about this cage. What about this cage? I haven't done a lot of thinking about that one. don't seem to be able to do a lot of thinking about that one. I mean, like, how do I know so little about it? So in here is a 4 and 5, okay, plus an 8, 9. In there is something, an 8, 9, a 6, an 8, 9, and a 2, 3. Essentially the absent 2, 3. There's no 4 in here. This is 2, 3, sorry, 2 or 7 or 3 or 7. Right, okay. Let's work with that. 2 or 7 would be 9. 5 and 6, still possible. Just. But there's so many other options in here. 3, 7 is 10. So these two cells would have to add up to 10. And it's not 1, 9. It's not 3, 7. It could be 2, 8. And it could be 4, 6. There's too many options to pencil mark here. Do it anyway? No. There has to be a better way. Too many options. I must be missing Sudoku again. It's usually the case. Almost always the case. Anything significant in any of this? Is it worthwhile coloring? Go on then. Right, let's do the 8, 9s. That's different, that's different. This is orange, this is red. This is red. Not remotely helpful. Like, not remotely helpful. Six is forced. How did I make that look so difficult? 6 is up here. These two cells are 7. I need two cells to add up to 13. It's not 6, 7. It is 5, 8 or 4, 9. 5, 8 or 4, 9. So ironically, there is a definite 8, 9, and actually maybe this coloring won't be a total waste of time. There's at least one of the 8 or 9s, not one, exactly one of the 8 or 9s in here. Kind of interesting, kind of interesting. Not entirely interesting, kind of interesting. And then we have 1 of 4 or 5. Five is up here with the 3. So what do I need in this box? 4 seemingly is anywhere. 6 is here. Yeah, not seeing it. Can I not force these yet? Not a 7. That probably will help. That is a definite 7. Not a 7 again. Where is the 7 inside this cage? Well, I've got 6, 8, 9 triple. That's a 7. That's not a 7. That's orange. May be helpful, who knows? I can figure out the colors of some of these. Allow me to whittle this down. Nearly onto something here with the colors, but I generally don't know if this is like a total waste of time or not. 6 is in one of these two cells. With the 7 forced, I'm kind of surprised. Actually, the 7 there, 7, 2 is a 7 up here, which gives me seemingly a 3-5 pair. Is that really right? Yes, it is. 3-5, and then 6, 8, 9, and a 4. Interesting. So 4 is definitely down here now. It could be any of these cells with a 6 and an 8, 9. The 3-5 pair seemingly does nothing for us. That's not the 8-9. This is the other 8-9, which would allow me to color. Right, because I needed a third 8-9 in the box, and it couldn't be here because I've already got 2 of them. So it can only be there, and that 2 gave me a 4. There's a lot suddenly that's just been unlocked, and a known digit here. 4, 4, 6, 4, 6, not 6. And we can color the rest of the 8-9. So now I'm not feeling too regretful about going down this path. Figure out in a second if that was remotely helpful. So where is red? Is it none of these cells? Still need more. Orange, yeah, don't know. Right, this is not red. We knew that all along though. Not red. Red is in one of 2 cells. Orange, again, don't know much about orange. Right, the 3 5s must have done something for me, surely. So I have 4, 8, 9, and a 2. Nope. 2, 3 pair. I'm missing something again. 22 minutes. 3, 5, 8, 9. So one of these is in here. So this is a 3, 5 pair because it's not red nor orange. So this is 3, 5. That gives me a 3, 5 pair in the column. That may be helpful. Emphasis on the maybe. Again, this is not red or orange. So the red pair in here is not this cell. And we had essentially 4, 5, and 8, 9. So that tells me that is definitely 4. That is a very hard 4 to spot. And therefore not a 4 in here. This is getting very close now, surely. 5, 8, 9. So let's think about what's going on here. Now, obviously, 7 and 3 doesn't work because with a 5. But it would work. 7, 3 with a 8 and a 2 would work. 7, 2 would be 9. And then I need to get to 11. How am I making this so hard? 7 and 2 would be 9. I would need to get to 11. 9, 2 doesn't work. 8, 3 would. 8 and 7 would be 15 with a 5. Yep, that looks okay. 2, 3 pair in the column. Is that possible? We'll come back to that. And then, of course, there's the last option, which was 5 and 6. So that's fully pencil marked. Now, is 2, 3 an option? Is 2, 3 genuinely an option? Can I strike out an 8 from here? It's a good question. It would essentially make this 5. Would make this 3. Hang on, what? 2, 3 pair would make this 5. And then because I can't have 3 in here, that would be 3. So I'd end up with 3, 5 pair looking at this 3, 5. So 2, 3 is not an option. So 8 is off the table in here. That is very hard to see. 5, 8, 9. I'm not entirely convinced of my logic, by the way, but I'll take it. Now, 5 works when it's 7 and 2 with a 6. 9 and 7 is 16. So this would have to add up to... How was this ever 9? I'm so confused. How was this ever 9? 9 and 7 is 16. I can't make these add up to 4. So this was never 9. This was 5. Don't know why I saw that as a possibility. 5 and 7 is 12. That is 6 and 2. And I think we've got it from here, haven't we? Not 3, 5. Is a 3. Is a 5. Is my 8, 9. is my 8-9, and I can carry on coloring in a second, but I'm not sure I'm going to need to. No 2 is a 2. 4, 8, 9. Let's color, because that's another 4, 8, 9. Red. Red. I have an 8, 9 orange and a 3. That's the 3. That's the orange. That's the 6. Then I have 4 and orange somewhere. Am I struggling to see this again? 4, 8, 9. 4, 8, 9. Oh, because I'm not paying attention up here. Right. 12 needs to be 8. And therefore this is orange, and orange is 8. Red is 9. And therefore this is 4. This is 8. And if I've not made any mistakes, this is 4 for the finish. There we go. Fantastic puzzle, Matt. Not quite Nemesis today, not quite. I think I got there in the end. So the break-in with the, I call it break-in, but I mean the logic in here with the 22 cage and the German whispers is fantastic. The killer cage, lovely. The forced 135, the forced 2, the 8-9 pair, it's just, it all came together. But then I kind of, like, I think either Sudoku kind of made it very difficult for me, or you really had to color the 8-9. I'd be interested to see how you guys solved it. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed the puzzle and the video, and I'll see you back soon. Bye-bye for now.